Okay, so I've got the bottom race in, as we can see there, it went in quite easily. And the next stage is to put this bearing onto the actual stem of the GSXR triple trees. And then once that's in, it's a matter of putting that in, putting on a dust seal, which is in there, and then putting on a spacer to space it up. So that's my next job, so let's see how that'll go. First off, we need to collect it from the freezer. So yeah, hello ratties. No. Oh, where's it? I forgot. It says one called steam stem. Oh, that is cold. Wookie mark. Oh well. Okay, that was painfully cold, but there's my steering stem. So what we need to do now is we need to take off. This is just to keep it from getting dirty in the fridge, because the fridge is all dirty. So what we need to do now, that's cold. That's cold. We need to first insert the big bearing. I think the big one's going to be the one for it. Look on there. Yeah, I definitely think that's going to be the one. So what we're going to do is we're going to stick that on top of here, and that should just slide down like so. We then stick on our seal, like so, and that'll just sit on there loosely, and then what we'll have to do is find out where I put the bearing, still inside the thing, and then need to stick that on. Now I don't actually have anything round to stick it on with, so what I'll have to do is using this wood is to beat it down. So okay, I seem to have cracked it. I've got the bearing fully on, as we can see. What I did in the end was I used the actual washer I didn't need on the bottom. I stuck that over the top like so. So that means basically that was in contact with the inner race, and then using my trusty block of wood, I just hit it around a few times and it went on quite easily. So yeah, that was quite nice. So we've now got a lower bearing race in. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try it in the frame, because I'm just, you know, that type of person who wants to try everything. So let's give it a go and see what we are. We have the stem actually in the bike. It's quite smooth actually. I haven't greased any of the bearings yet. Obviously they're not going in just yet. I just wanted to get the inner races in and sort, just so I could kind of get my eye to what's going to happen. The one thing that I've come across is I can only stick one of the retaining nuts on the top. That's not really bothering us at the moment, because I know you need the second one to lock it in. But you've got that, you've also got the fact you've got a nut on the top, and I'm going to Loctite all that anyway, so I'm not too boshed about that. I might have put too big a spacer on the bottom, but I would preferred having the gap there than it kind of scraping up and around. So no, I'm pretty pleased with that. It's getting there. I'm just thinking I'm wanting to put the front forks on this, and I've removed the centre stand with the idea I'm not going to have it back on. So I'm not going to have a centre stand actually standing on, so I'm going to have to try and find a box or something that I'm going to prop the bike up on, and then I can get these front forks fitted and see how they look, and we should be a-okay. So yeah, anyway, with that I'm going to tidy the place up. I'm going to cook myself some tea, and I shall see you soon. Here's the front end all mounted up with the bearings all installed, and I'm quite happy with it. I've also put the mudguard on because I just had to see how it looked, and it looks quite good, to be honest. Now there's a few things which I should have really used this small washer instead of the big one. The reason why I used the big one was I thought it was going to be not enough room in between these two, but I can just see fit that washer in between there and the head. So I could have given myself a few more mil. I could have given myself an extra, I would say, I don't know, 4 mil or something like that. However, we've got more than enough room on there to put the actual the nut on for the trees. The only problem we have is I've only got one nut that actually holds the whole stem in place. Now there should be a locking nut on top of there. Now I'm debating, even if I had this on, there wouldn't be enough actual thread on there to put the second one and then put this the top clamp on without like enough thread being here to put the other nut on. So I think my solution is going to be just to put some high strength Loctite on that and just lock it up and keep adjusting it. So basically ride it and then adjust it, then just put some Loctite on and just keep it there, because obviously first few hundred miles it's going to bed, the bearings are going to bed in, you're going to have a bit of slack, so we'll see. But technically, because I've got a nut on top of here and there's a bit of alloy in between, but you've got two nuts fighting against each other anyway, so we'll see. I've got a high strength aluminium nut coming for that anyway, so we'll see how it goes. It's the way projects are. I'm trying to get this done quick, so yeah. But overall, I am more than chuffed with that bearing kit, other than, like I say, me putting too big of a spacer on. Worst comes to worst, I can take it. I can't get the spacer off. It's on there well and truly tight because it's warmed up and the stem's expanded, so the bearing is not coming off without a puller. So I could, if I wanted, take this off and take it to the local garage and he would be able to pull it off, and hopefully the bearing would be fine. It's the dust seal I'm worried about, because it would take us another 4 weeks to get another dust seal. So it's either do that or stick with what I've got, and personally I'm sitting here thinking I should just stick with what I've got, because like I say, it's well and truly tight there and the movement in those forks is nice and smooth. Of course I'll need to put some lubrication on there, I need to grease them up, but for now I am more than happy with that. So yeah, this is coming along nicely. So with that I'm going to go in, because it's now 9:30 and I've been in the shed for a good few hours. So yeah, anyway, as always, I shall see you soon, and